What is up, guys? Today is another day and I'm going to bring you guys the second tutorial of my series of how to make your own Python advanced text editor. So if you have not seen the showcase video for this yet, this is what the finished product will look like. And if we open a file with this, you can see it has syntax highlighting, has code completion, all that good jazz, and all the full file menus and whatnot. So today I'm going to actually start coding with you guys. So in the last video I showed you how to install wxPython, how to get that running on your computer with Python 2.7, and today we're going to actually create the text control in the application, and then we're also going to put some file menus on there, but we'll have to wait until our next video to get the functionality of these file menus, as that would make the video quite long. So anyway, I'm just going to jump right into it. So the first thing that we want to do is import all the necessary libraries, or modules as Python calls them. So I'm going to import wx. I'm going to import wx.lib.dialogues. I'm going to import wx.stc as stc. Now, you won't be using this second one, I don't believe, not in this video, but I'm going to go ahead and include it right now. So, first thing you'll do is I'm not even going to do some comments. We want to have some font stuff for our editor, so I'm just going to use this one. Times New Roman, Mono, Courier, New, and this, as you can see, is just a dictionary in Python. So Helv, short for Helvetica, which is Arial, and other will do the Comic Sans, MS. Now we also want to do a size 10 and a size 2 is an alternative option as 8. So there we go. Now basically, with a application or a GUI framework like this, you want to actually build the framework. So what we're going to do is make a class for a wx frame, or a window as you might think of it, and then we're going to create the application from that class. So we'll call this main window, and it's going to have a wx frame there, and of course a class needs an initializer function, which is where the majority of our code will be. So inside that, it will take 3 parameters: self, obviously, parent is another one, and then title. Title is going to be like the name of your application. So let's see, I'm just gonna do, there's a few things we're gonna need. So for a text editor, we're gonna need some margin width, so 25, and well, I'll go ahead and create the text. So we'll call it the wx.frame, and then we'll initialize that. We'll give it the self parameter, parent parameter. We'll set its title argument to the title given in the class object, and here you can set the size of your actual window. So I'm going to go with 800 by 600. That's width, and then height, of course. Now I'm going to create a member variable, and this is going to store the actual text control. So styled text control, self, of course you have to pass in the self parameter, and as you see, this is a STC style text control. So STC is the submodule within wx, and that's what we're using for this advanced editor. And the style we're going to be using is TE_ multi-line. Then we want to do a single pipe character, wx.te word wrap. Now I've done the word wrap, I've taken it off. I've noticed there's not a whole lot of difference, but I'm going to include it anyway in this video. So basically, this is going to create a text control, a style one, and it's going to be a multi-line one that has word wrap, pretty much. So that is pretty straightforward. Now we want to set a couple things for our control. If you wanted, you could go ahead and say, let's see, to actually show our application, you could go ahead and say self.show, and I'll go outside of the application here, and at the very last we are going to end up doing a variable. So frame equals main window none, my text editor, that's what we're going to title it, app.main loop. Whoops. Now app is of course going to need to be declared, so this is going to be just a Wix app. Alright, and now if we hit Control B in Sublime and build it, whoops, oh, I forgot an equal sign, my bad. So now you go ahead and build this, and this is what you get. So already you've got this technically functional text editor, but we want to add some cool stuff. So after we create the control, we're going to do a couple things. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bind the keys for zooming in on the text, so enlarging the text and shrinking it. So you can do this by calling the CMD key assign method within it, and we'll do ord and this is basically going to target the equal sign key, and then you'll say stc underscore scmod control. And this stuff I'm basically just running through really fast because it's all in the documentation for STC. Zoom in, and if you'd like, you can say this is for control plus equals to zoom in. Now I'm just going to copy that and paste it, and now what we're going to do is we're going to change that equal sign to a minus, and instead of zoom in, we're going to say zoom out. So now if you type some in the editor, I'm pressing control plus or control equals to enlarge it there, and control minus to shrink it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and fix that comment. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is we want to set a few other options. So I'm going to set the text editor to not show white space. Alright, so that's like for your indentation and whatnot. Now we want to set some margins, and you might say, oh, well, you already set the margin, didn't you? Well, that was the left margin width there. That was yes, that was our margin, but we want to have like a line numbers column, so we want to do that. So we'll say self.control dot set margins 5,0, and this is basically going to set a 5 pixel margin on the left inside of the text control. So this is going to shift your actual text over to the right a little so that you're not as cramped up. So now we want to set margin type. We'll do 1, STC, then the STC margin number. So basically this is going to set the first margin to show the line numbers pretty much. This is all really easy to do with what we're already given with SDC. So that single line basically creates your line numbers column. So now we want to set the margin width for that very column to well, whatever you want, really. So I'm basically just gonna set it to like 20. Or oh, no. I'm sorry, guys. This is where the self-align margin width comes in. So yeah, the member variable we created up here, this is to store that. So basically, you can change it up there if you want, whenever, and that's going to change how wide your line numbers column is. So we're getting an error somewhere. Oh, set margins. That M should be capitalized. Alright, line margin width. Oh, I'm making all kinds of errors today. There we go. We're still getting one. Oh well, you guys will have to excuse me. I'm trying to use a external keyboard here so that you don't hear a lot of clicking. But anyway, if we run this now, you can see it does create your line numbers column, and it shifts over the text right there. It's hard to see, but it does give you a little 5 pixel space between the line numbers column and your actual editor, and then your line numbers column has a 25 pixel width. So now that we've got all that done, let's go ahead and create the menu bars. So what I'm going to do is say self.create status bar. Now this bar is actually not the menu bar. This is the bar at the bottom. So as you see on Sublime, it's got line 30, column 31. That's a status bar that is in. So we want the same thing pretty much. So now I'm going to say status bar oops, dot set background color, and notice how I spell color. That is because of the developers for the STC module, so I apologize if you do not speak that or do not spell that form of English, but you get used to it, so it's no big deal. So we'll do that, and now if we build it again, you see we have a nice looking status bar down here. Now right now that status bar is not going to be doing much, but as soon as we add the file menus and whatnot, it will. So first we'll say file menu equals wx.menu. So this is going to give us a menu bar. Now I'm going to create a variable for every menu, for every drop down menu, or every menu item, that is. So file menu dot append. So we're adding one to that menu, ID underscore new. So there's actually IDs or tags available for pretty much all that you're going to need. Now, as I'm naming this, this is the name that you're going to see right here. So this says open file, so it's like that. Now, the reason I put an ampersand is because the ampersand is a prefix character for the alt operator. So if you hold alt in like Sublime, if you hold alt, you'll see these little underscores show up here. So if I'm holding alt and I want to do edit, I can just press E. Well, let me move my cursor, and it does that. Now I'm still holding alt, and you can see there's still underscores such as line, comment, text. So it's basically just a keyboard shortcut route. So the ampersand is going to prefix the letter that you want that underscore on. So for this one, I'm going to say ampersand new. I'm going to get a space, create a new document. Yeah, so now we're going to do this for open. Wix ID open. And open an existing document. Alright, now we need to save. save the current document, because save is not the same as save as. So now we'll make a save as. And this one, since I've already used s, I'll put it. I'll put the ampersand at the a. Save a new document. Now I'm going to do a. This is one thing. If you want to do for style, you can actually append a what's called a separator. So it's going to make a little dotted line between these as they're listed. I'll do one more menu. And this one's going to be ID exit, and I'll put the ampersand here. So this is going to just close our application. Alright. Now, you can go ahead and add this menu if you'd like. So I'm going to actually create the menu bar. Menu bar equals wix dot menu bar dot append our file menu. Now we'll say self dot set menu bar and pass in the menu bar as an argument. Whoops. See what error we're getting now. Alright. Title. Okay. Oh, my bad. So whenever you when you give it a new one, you need to give that menu a name. So this one, we want it to be called file. So now if you look at this, you've got file, you've got new, open, and save as, close. Then if you hold Alt, you'll see you have the underscore under F, and all those underscores sort of things underneath the characters that we put the ampersand before. So now we want to add the rest of the menus. And I'm going to do this pretty quickly, try to, because this video is already getting pretty long. So the edit menu, edit menu, this is going to undo our last action. We want a redo. Excuse me, getting a little cold here lately, so I apologize for any different sound in my voice. Redo the last action, and then we want well, let's add a separator. Alright, after that we want to do a select all. I love how Wix and SDC inside Wix, they give you all these tools and stuff that are already there at your disposal. So it's really nice. You don't have to do a whole lot of like custom widgets and stuff like that, and it's really handy. So we need a copy. Put the ampersand there. Copy selected text. And for cut, I guess I'll put it after the C, so I'll make it on the U. And you'll see what the second argument is in a second. I don't think I told you guys at first. The second argument is actually what's going to show up in our status bar. It's pretty cool. It automatically handles that for you, and I'll show you after I create this paste one here. Alright, so I've finished that. Now I'm going to need to add it the same way I did the file menu. So I'll say menu bar dot pinned edit menu and edit. So now we've got two menus. Now notice this, when I go, I'm going to click on edit. I'm hovering over redo, and you see down here in the status bar it says redo last action. Select all, select the entire document, yada yada yada. So it's pretty cool. It kind of does all that. It gives your editor more flavor and all the good stuff. So I've got two more menus to make, and I'll be done. Fortunately, these are very short menus. So there's a preferences menu, which I will shorten as pref menu, and all it has on it, or all that I'm going to put on it, is an option to toggle the line numbers. And this one I'm going to give an ID any, because there's not really an ID for this, since this is like a specific feature in our editor. So, oops, I put that space in the wrong place. Toggle line numbers, and then I'll say show hide line numbers column. Now I'm going to do the help menu, and on the help menu I'll do menu how to and I'll do it an ID any too. We'll see how to, I'll say get help using the editor, and then I'll give it a separator. Then one more menu, about, and this one actually has an ID, so we're going to do ID underscore about. Read about the editor and it's making. Whoop, I accidentally deleted my exclamation point. We're not as excited after all. So alright, so now I need to add these two menus. Menu bar dot append pref menu preferences and help menu help. Now you can actually make an about one too, so you can if you want. It's not really that big of a deal. So like I just include help and about in the same one. So I'm going to build this, and now you've got all four of your menus. I'm going to use the Alt keys to kind of move around them. So if you want to go preferences, or if you want to go to help and about, edit, and all of these have their own little message down here in the status bar. So yeah, that's really cool. So we've made a lot of progress. I'm sorry if this video was a little bit drawn out. It was just a lot to go through. This was I don't know, this was quite a lot. This was about 70 lines of code here, and this is just the basics of your editor. So you've got the functionality pretty much, and in our next video I'm going to show you guys how to actually write the functions to make these menus actually work and do what they're supposed to. And then in order to do that, I'll also teach you guys how to use bindings. So we're going to bind different functions to the menus, and yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So I hope you guys stay tuned. I hope you're enjoying these videos, and if you would, please give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe if you want to see more Python projects and videos like this. I really enjoy making them. I really enjoy having you guys give me the feedback that you do. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.